if you really want it, you can code this in your contract. So every time you send this NFT, that must be a payment to the original creator. Okay,
Hmm.
so I think it has like pros and cons for the first one because it's just opt-in, and some marketplace, as you said, right, they don't order it, so there's no way you can really
Hmm.
enforce it. And the second way, you can every time you change hands transfer, you have to you have to pay. But then the downside is, hey, maybe I'm just sending it to my friend, or I'm moving it from one wallet to another wallet. Yeah, then I would also to pay. Of course, you can pay yourself, but it's yeah, some people don't like that, but yeah, it depends on what you want to do. But it's all supported at the protocol level. Yeah,
Understood. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
no problem. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, all great questions. So, because it's so new and just fresh, there's no marketplace. Okay, today I think you can do it with some kind of like command line, but there's no marketplace. It's like CAT-20. When it first came out, there's just some command line. You have to run the node, everything, but there's no UI hooked up to it. And the good thing about this is you don't need all this PSPT stuff. You can really just code the contract and then hook it up with some kind of like a front end, and then you should be ready to go. You can be the first. Okay, so that's definitely something missing. So I hope some of you, if you are into FT marketplace and you are very into tinkering with the latest NFT called CAT-721, which is completely new, and I think it's a technically very advantageous than ordinals. Okay, so that's number one thing I wish somebody could build, and number two, I think it's also very interesting. So for people who have been into ordinals, you probably heard about the recursive inscriptions. Okay, so the idea is, let's say you have 10K, high definition pictures you want to upload, you want to inscribe into your collection, right? I mean, you can do it, but it's going to be slow and also expensive, right? You're going to upload, I don't know, 10,000 pictures. Each picture maybe, I don't know, 1 MB. So it's going to be very, very expensive. Okay, either on Fractal or even on Bitcoin. Okay, it's going to be expensive. So what you can do is, instead is, let's say you only have, you can design your art so you only have 4 high definition pictures. So you inscribe just 4, and then out of this 4, you can have different combinations, right? Maybe you have different hats, a different eye color, or different, I don't know, whether it has like wear glasses or hats. Yeah, you can combine this to, so the final NFT is just you pull from existing inscriptions. So that the benefit, of course, is obvious, right? So you, instead of you know uploading or inscribing 10,000 high definition picture, you only, let's say, inscribe 4 or maybe 10, right? And then you can still get the HD version of NFTs, but without paying a huge amount of fees. Okay, so this is definitely also supported at the protocol level. So it would just take some people, especially if they're already familiar with ordinals recursive inscriptions. This is definitely something, this, if you do recursive MTs using CAT-721, yeah, I will be buying this. Okay, it will be very interesting. It could be the first, right? So this is another thing, I'm interested to see people using recursion. Okay. And another dimension I would say, I think people, because it's so new, and that's also, this is a huge advantage, when we compare with ordinals. In ordinals, you just, it's like first is first, right? You inscribe it and that's it. Okay, there's no programmability into the how you mint it. Okay, usually it's some kind of like whitelist, but that's it, and it's enforced by some marketplace or centralized entity. You cannot. It's not very programmable. Okay, it's very, let's say, static. Okay, versus here is very versatile and flexible. For example, the first collection launched with CAT-721 is called this locked up cat. So it's very interesting because it used this mechanism, the first ever, NFT minting. to called lock to mint. So what does it mean? You cannot randomly, it's open mint, everybody can mint, but the condition is you have to lock up some CAT tokens. Okay, CAT is the first CAT-20 tokens called CAT. Okay, so everybody can mint this NFT, but you have to lock up, for each NFT you have to lock up 100 CAT tokens. Okay, so that means it's not completely free, and you also has an incentive, right, to hold, let's say, CAT token. This is like a privilege for people who's holding CAT tokens. Okay, lock to mint. Another very interesting that's people are already building is so-called, Fleur. There's another like app on Fractal. I think what I talked about before is another DEXs, but it also have this trade to mint feature. What does it mean? So if you trade there, it's almost like a Binance thing. If you trade there, if you trade more, you are going to be incentivized they will issue the, let's say, platform token called something, let's say it's called Fleur. So every time you trade there, you are selling, you are buying, you are maker, you are going to be rewarded in the platform token. Okay, so that's another, how do you mint this token? You trade. Okay, so you can of course have a lot of other mechanisms. For example, you want to say, hey, anybody who mint this NFT, you have to pay the artist, I don't know, let's say 1 Bitcoin or something like that. Yeah, you can everybody can mint, it's open mint, but you have to pay. Okay, or you can do, hey, only certain people can of these addresses they can mint, right? You can do whitelist. Okay, and also you can do, let's say, proof of work. Of course, you are not going to do, let's say, Bitcoin level proof of work. You can say, hey, if you're finding, I don't know, 10 leading zeros in this transaction ID, and then you can claim some NFT, right? Or you can say, oh, the minting can only start, let's say, 2 weeks from now, or at block height, let's say 100,000. Okay, you can specify all these kind of conditions by just customizing your own minter contract. And all of this, you don't have to change the protocol. You don't have to, talk to the developers to accommodate you. You just program your own minter contract, smart contract. That's it. You can do all of this and also more, right? You can even run wild. Okay, you can say, hey, you can only mint if you do some proof of work, but also you are in this whitelist or you hold another token. Okay, so you can it's very composable. You can combine all these different things and put them together. You can even come up with your fresh, crazy ideas. You run with it. Okay, you can say, hey, only, you can only mint, I don't know, on Saturday, but not on Sunday. Okay, so you can touch grass. Oh yeah, all these rules is all up to you. You can all define all these rules absolutely. Okay. Any questions? It's so good. So far, so good. All
Another
right.
good question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So can you do more? Is there more capabilities that you could do on Bitcoin than versus on other protocols then? Because and speaking of more like dynamic NFTs, in other words, like you could do more like, it sounds like you can, but like, is there limitations that you could, that there is to be done? Sorry. Question is there any limitations besides just like, I guess, expanding on creative coding now? Or because it sounds like you're just creating like systems to be able to create on top of now. Like it's what I'm getting.
Yeah, it's a very flexible protocol, and you can define any rules you want. I mean, with sCrypt. If I would say that's a downside, I wouldn't say it's a downside, but it's a cost. Basically, because you are using Bitcoin smart contract, so the script is going to be bigger than you just using regular Bitcoin addresses. So that's the cost you are paying. Basically, you want more features, you pay more fees.